Fixer upper or new build? We break it down. Who should buy what, when, why, and how? When it comes to a fixer upper, I try to get everybody to do this. I think this is the only way you find a deal in this market or ever in a market is to find something that is ugly. As many times as I can try to have a first-time home buyer understand that roofs, windows, siding, and mechanicals are your biggest expenses. If those are good, then grandma's carpet is what we're looking for. I want green paint. I want purple light fixtures. I don't care. All of that stuff is significantly cheaper to be able to replace than the other larger items. So I think with a first-time home buyer or just people in general, if you can find a house that looks ugly in photos but feels good and has good space, that is always the thing you want to do, and here's why. Every single time when it comes to that property, if it goes, okay, this house is $300,000, that needs new carpet, paint, and light fixtures, and that's going to cost me $30,000. But this market and neighborhood, if this house did look really pretty, we could sell it for $360,000. You've then automatically gained a $30,000 equity gap. In most other real estate transactions, you can't do that. The one I think people should stay away from more than they usually are is the house that is the fixer-upper, that is that flip. When you go into a house and it's all fresh paint, fresh carpet, appliances, countertops, but the roof is old, but the windows are old, but the mechanicals are old, that is not the property you want to buy. Because here's what happens is those mechanicals, those windows are things that are going to deteriorate over time, right? And let's say in the next 5 to 10 years, you have to deal with 1, 2, or maybe all of those things. I would much rather have to deal in my first 3 years of a house is paint, carpet, light fixtures.
Right.
So when it comes to somebody leaning toward one way or the other of a new build or a fixer-upper house that's already been fixed up, or one, if I could get somebody to just go, I want you to buy the house with wallpaper everywhere, please, and here's why. That's what I think, anybody looking to get a deal in this marketplace, they should be looking for every single time. So when it comes to a new build, who's the buyer for a new build? Who should be buying it? What are they going to be looking to do?
Generally, new builds you see a lot of, move-up buyers, somebody that hopefully bought the ugly house, fixed it up, now has the equity to bring into a new construction situation. And, the reason they want to go to the new build is they want to be able to pick their floor plan. They've lived in a house before. They know what they like. They know what they want, and they can build where they want to, or pick the lot that suits them best. So generally, I like to see move-up buyers get into that. First-time home buyers getting into new construction is a little bit scary in a way because equity isn't there to be able to make that next jump as quick as if you bought the fixer-upper. So you're able to pick out, your kitchen cabinets. You're able to pick out what color roof you want, the siding you want. You just have so many options to customize the house the way you want to be able to customize it. Now, with that, you do have the downfall of it takes time to build a new house versus a fixer-upper. You obviously can live there and fix it up while you're there. New construction, you generally have to wait. It's probably a 6 to a 12-month process, depending on the size of house you build. And then floor plan is always a big thing. We've had other videos about this with Rambler being your most expensive, then 2-story, and then like a multi-level split entry is your cheapest build because you're stacking square footage. So who I like seeing going to those are generally move-up buyers or somebody, maybe even downsizing, coming down to a slab on grade, something in that situation. And again, your typical build time is going to be that 6 to 12 months. So you may have to find other housing, be able to start the build with your other current house so you have a place to live, temporary renting. So those are some of the obstacles you got to think about or jump through when you're doing new construction.
Rule of thumb, I think if you're going to a new build, expect or plan to be in that house longer. If you're doing a fixer-upper, you can probably get out of that house in a year or two because you've gained equity on it. Right. When it comes to a new build, I think the thing that we see that people run into a lot of times is you have other new builds going on in that area most likely or in your development. So if you sell in the next couple of years after buying it, you're going to have competing new build prices, right, and you're going to have to most likely be below them for your house to sell. In a fixer-upper situation, you don't have those kind of worries. You're competing with other previously owned homes, and a lot of times if you fixed it up and you've done new paint, you've done new carpet, you're going to beat a lot of those other homes. Right? The competition is just a lot easier to maintain and a lot easier to make a sale happen if you have to sell on the sell side, yes, or the fixer-upper versus the new build.